I'm Brianna Norris, and I'm going to give a presentation on a business trip to London, England. London is one of the most famous cities in the world due to its iconic art, history, and attractions. Some of its main attractions are Big Ben, which houses Parliament, the London Eye, as well as Trafalgar Square, and of course, you can't forget the Queen. There's a lot of well-educated people in a very fast-paced city. There's a lot of great food there, and some of the most famous food, as you'll all know, is the fish and chips, which is in most every restaurant. And there's also markets, which house many vendors from all across the city, as well as many pubs. As far as the logistics for your trip, in order for you to arrive on October 30th, you'll have to leave Saturday, October 29th, and your trip will last through November 6th. You'll leave from New Orleans, and you'll fly from New Orleans to New York and New York from London. Your New Orleans flight leaves 6:50 a.m. and you'll arrive in New York at 10:51 a.m. It's a 3-hour flight, and you'll have a 9-hour and 39-minute layover, so it's a good time to look over your report as well as try to get a little bit of sleep. You'll leave New York at 8:30 and arrive in London at 7:35 a.m. the next morning. So it's a 7-hour flight, which will include free Wi-Fi as well as plug-ins for your phone. You'll leave London on November 6th, and you'll fly into Atlanta. You'll leave London at 11:30 and arrive in Atlanta at 4:10. You'll leave Atlanta at 6:02 and arrive in New Orleans at 6:40. Whenever you do get to London, I would advise to take a taxi or a coach from the airport to the hotel. You're allowed a per diem of $175 for food and $346 for lodging. Altogether $521. Your hotel will be the Strand Palace Hotel, which is directly on the Strand in London, which is one of the most famous roads in London, which houses a lot of restaurants and food unique to London, as well as a lot of clothing and just stores for you to shop. There's free Wi-Fi. There's 24-hour room service, fitness room, refrigerator, hairdryer, everything you could really need. It'll be a king executive suite. One thing to keep in mind is there's no air conditioning, so if you need a fan, you may want to take that or buy one when you get there. Also, another thing to keep in mind is the plugins are different there, so whenever you do get there, you may want to get an adapter. As far as dining, Covent Gardens is really close by, which houses pubs, pizzas, cafes, whatever you really want. And you also have the Strand that has multiple options for food. There's also live entertainment at Covent Gardens, which has usually magicians, everybody goes around and watches, there's music. There's also High Tea in London, which is hosted at restaurants as well as hotels. And it's usually a nicer event, and whenever you're there, you get biscuits, sandwiches, tea, and desserts. It's really, really good. And there's also markets that have food. South Bank is one of the popular ones, and you can take an underground to there. And there's tents set up with food. It's like Mongolian food, you'll have American food, Swedish food, whatever you want. It's there, and it's really good. There's also Borough Market, which is set up for every day as compared to South Bank, which is only on the weekends. Borough Market has a lot more like candy and like fresh type foods. And as far as transportation, the underground double-decker buses and taxis are famous for London. Underground, in order to use that, you have an Oyster card, which is kind of like a credit card, and you just put money on it before you go in. You just swipe it in order to go in, take the escalators, whatever it takes to get to the underground. It's very complicated, so after a while you will get used to it. There's maps located in every single station, and there's a lot of stations around London. The double-decker buses, they take cash or Oyster cards, so be sure to keep up with the Oyster card. There's also taxis that are a lot like American taxis, they just look a little different. Conducting a meeting, there's a lot of well-educated people, so be sure to be on your best. As far as dress, suits are required for men along with the tie, and as far as women, suit or dress is appropriate. Always be on time, if not a few minutes early, because the British are always punctual and they expect their guests to be punctual as well. Make sure your presentations are very detailed, covers everything, but before your presentation, make sure to make a little lighthearted conversation, because they do have a lot of humor over there. Make sure that you complete a task or make a final decision while you're there, because that's their main goal of a meeting. The language there, English is the most common language. They have thick accents in certain parts, and the more closer you get towards the business district, the less thick the accents are, so you should be good. Business card etiquette is not very formal over there. They expect to have a clean and presentable business card, but it's not required to give. Nonverbal communication is important. They have different ways of doing things, like the underground. When you're on an escalator, be sure to stand to the right side, because people who are usually in a hurry, like I said, it's a fast-paced city, they'll usually get on the left and they'll pass you. So they like personal space also, so do not stare and do not linger in their conversations. The weather is usually kind of cold over there. It's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. There's not much sun. It's a lot of clouds and rain, so be sure to carry your rain jacket. The American Embassy is over there. They serve U.S. citizens in England and Wales. They go by the London time, which is Greenwich Mean Time, because Prime Meridian goes through Greenwich, and they're 6 hours ahead. The travel advisories, there's really not anything really bad going on right now. It's a pretty safe city. They have the CCTV, which is cameras all over the city just watching the people. And they're currently going through the Brexit, which is the British exit from the European Union. And they're still seeing the effects from that. So overall, your trip is from October 29th to November 6th through a Delta Airlines flight, which will be through New Orleans International Airport to London Heathrow. Be prepared for a long flight and try to get as much sleep as possible. You'll be at Strand Palace Hotel. You'll have $175 for a meal. Be sure to keep it professional and lighthearted with a detailed presentation. And London is a great place, a great city to experience, so I hope you enjoyed it.